Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. I know today is not a usually day that I cast StarCraft 2, but I was sent a couple of replays by somebody who's designing an AI to compete in StarCraft. And so this is going to be time versus an artificial intelligence for StarCraft 2. It is not Alpha Star. And it's just basically Inspir.ai. That is the website. And there's not an English version yet. Love and peace, says the AI. This is going to be versus Time, the Chinese Terran player who is very excellent. Top left-hand corner is the red Terran player Time. And in the bottom right, it is the blue Terran player whose name I cannot read. But again, this is our artificial intelligence. We have another game after this with ToodMing. Versus, I'm not sure if it's the same AI or a different one, but I just figured we'd go ahead and see how this goes. See how this goes here. It is always interesting to see how artificial intelligence is competing in StarCraft 2. It really, really impresses me what some of these developers are able to do with this kind of stuff. And yeah, I guess we'll see how the AI acquits itself. I've cast a bunch of games from Time on my channel. I don't specifically remember the last one was. It's been some time. Is what I'm trying to say here for Time. It is impossible to cast when Time's involved and not make all sorts of unintentional puns. It's crazy hard. I don't think I've ever done it. I've never cast a Time game without making an unintentional pun of some kind. It's impossible. So, not walling off either player here, which makes tons of sense. Time is making a Reaper, and there we go. Reaper getting started here too for the artificial intelligence in this setup. Where on earth is my Reaper name list? Reaper name is not a long one, I hope. Dang, where is it? It's like so buried. I have too many notes, you guys. Alright, so, man, are we gonna name both the Reapers? I have two short ones. We'll do two short ones, how about? So, Red Reaper here. Oh, they're not moving out, though. AI kind of scouting around for proxies. Is not going to see anything because everything is at home for Time here. And Time's Reaper's just staying home. So Reaper Micro from an artificial intelligence is kind of insanely good. Interested to see what's up with that. But just holding... You know what? You guys don't deserve names. One of you is playing just hardcore defense. And the other one's just sitting at the on like a watchtower the whole time. No names allowed for you guys. Names are for Reapers that go out and try to get stuff done, man. Try to bring honor to their people. Who are the Terrans or the Reapers? I don't know who the people are in this scenario, so whatever. We're good. We're moving on. Liberator in production here. Interesting choice. That is valid in a TVT. The AI knows what it's doing to some extent here. Time going for some Hellions and then moving into a starport. So the anti-air is going to be not great, honestly, versus this Liberator when it arrives. But we're just going for the standard 2 Hellion, 2 Reaper play from our artificial intelligence. And let's see what he can get done here. He's actually marching in and going up the ramp. He does lose a Hellion. Gets some decent damage there off as well, but is forced to retreat as he is more damaged than Time's units. And a straight up engagement, that is going to be a problem here. So Time trying to micro as well as he can, but suddenly he's outnumbered as the reinforcements come in from the AI and are chasing Time back home. So some pretty nice aggression right now out of the artificial intelligence. Time is forced to pull back into his main base and wall off. The Reaper's coming in, trying to fight here, but the SCVs are body blocking a little bit. The Reapers do pull back. None of them have died yet. An SCV left on the low ground is toast. Time is actually making more SCVs on the low ground. Why would you do this? They're really in danger as more stuff is coming out from the artificial intelligence. The AI, man, is really streaming at the moment. Extra Hellions. Pulling all the SCVs to repair that Hellion on the high ground. Reapers staying alive. A Banshee comes out for Time, and nothing here can shoot up whatsoever for this player. Liberator, oh gosh, Liberator does end up getting a few kills there before the Cyclone takes care of it, which is really good anti-air versus those Liberators. Cyclones are just known as just denial of harassment style units, right? Where Oracles are suddenly not as good if there is a Cyclone around. Same thing with Banshees, same thing even with like Overseers that are scouting around. Pretty good unit. Man alive, just keeps coming into this. Natural is really just trying to deny the natural base to time as much as he can. He is saturating his natural base pretty effectively right now. The APM is around 700 for the artificial intelligence, as we are not surprised that it is. Once again, these Reapers going for a scout, it looks like. Just one Reaper that's remaining. Did he just focus down a wounded SCV and finish it off before he gets murdered? That is some pretty good stuff. So resources lost are pretty darn even. 1,300 to 1,300 with a couple resources in there being the difference here. But more Vikings in production. Yeah, man, this is TVT. We know what we're doing here for this artificial intelligence. Tanks in production here too. Tank Viking going to be pretty darn standard with a bunch of Marines in the mix. This tank trying to go home, but the Banshee's going to murder it really, really effectively. I do want to check out the camera for the AI, though, and see what it's doing. One thing I don't know is whether or not it has... I don't think it has access to the whole minimap, because I think that Reaper that went into the main base at time was there for scouting purposes, and there's really no reason to do that if you already have vision of what's going on inside the main base the whole time. And based on this camera view, I don't think... Yeah, I don't think there's any vision here from it at all. So far, so good, I would say, out of this game. Both players are pretty darn even, which if you've developed an AI that can hang with time, you've done something good. Third base trying to happen. Banshee, which has really had a pretty good day, 5 kills to her name, is going to go ahead and try to shut that sucker down. Vikings chasing that Banshee out, and Banshee not very fast, unfortunately. Hits hard and can cloak, but as a result, not great on the speed front here. Viking count kind of nuts. Oh, they land the Vikings to try to deal with the Cyclone, but the micro is too good. It is too good. Auto turret there, too. The Vikings are getting crushed, and that's it. The Viking group is down, but there are several tanks on the ground right now. Are there enough tanks to handle this? That tank was exploding. The Marines are dead, too. There's no Banshee here to handle these tanks. It's just a Viking and a couple Ravens. This has been pretty intense thus far. Where are we going, man? It is going to be Cyclone, one tank, one Marine, one Raven, and 3 Vikings for time. Trying to see if there's a third base up this way. Maybe getting some harassment on the low ground up onto some barracks. That might not be a bad idea here either. Oh, it can hit on that time. That's so good. That's so stupid good here. I mean, eventually he's going to kill that barracks. How does the AI respond to this one is my question. What does he do? He's not lifting off the barracks. He's really just taking hits with it. Coming for the repair, but that's not going to happen. And the barracks does end up going down. I mean, lifting when there's Vikings around isn't going to make a ton of sense either. The Vikings actually take down a tank of the AI. These Vikings for time doing some serious work right now. I mean, the AI player did have a bit of an advantage, but they lost 5 Vikings, and now suddenly the air superiority belongs directly to this guy. Come back. We are on our way back here. All right, so third base coming down for the AI. Third base in home here for time is going to upgrade that to an orbital and then lift it over here, I have to assume, at some point. So tank Viking looking pretty good. Tank count is 3 for time and 5 for the artificial intelligence player here. I do want to point out that, again, that website, which is not in English currently, is available in the description. I believe Chrome can probably translate it for you, though, right? Also, Internet Explorer has some translation capabilities. I guess Edge is more of the default if you just have Windows. And I don't know, is anybody running with Edge these days? Anybody in the gaming industry not just using Chrome or Firefox at this point? What's funny is I switched to Chrome from Firefox in like 2008 or 9 because Firefox turned into a giant memory hog. And now Chrome's the giant memory hog. It's like, you became what you defeated, Chrome. Why would you do such a thing? It used to be so lightweight. It's still really zippy, and like I've got 16 gigs of RAM on my home PC, which I don't really need, but it means I never really feel RAM constraints, which, I don't know, I guess that's kind of the goal, right? If you never feel constraints, you're probably doing something all right. Command Center coming up. That fourth base is looking pretty fantastic here. Out expanding time just a bit here. 65 to 57 workers, producing additional Vikings here. Yeah, I mean, it looked like maybe the AI was going for the early kill with how aggressive he was in that early game, but now that he's recognized that's not possible, he's sitting back, he's macroing up. He's making 1 million Vikings. Did I count those? 11 to 16 Vikings for the AI versus time right now. APM hovering around 200, 300, 400 right now. A little bit more reasonable than 700. But I guess that's all you need to macro. If you're not actively microing things like Hellions and Reapers, you don't necessarily need all of the 700, 800 APM that you're capable of. Which, again, AIs are definitely capable of. And some of them are actually APM rate limited so that they can't go nuts with the APM. But it does bring them down a little bit to the level of the player they're going against here. I mean, Time's APM is on average 412. So, like, yeah. Time's pretty nuts at the same time. See what I told you about the puns? Good grief. All right, where are we? Marine, Tank, Viking. 11 Vikings to 23. The air belongs to the artificial intelligence right now, you guys. Any air battles we're going to see here are definitely going to go to these Vikings. Trying to expand again. Ah, never mind. Good cancel, though. Good reaction time from the AI. Look at this Viking battle. Oh, my gosh. No, it's not happening. Get out of there, Time. That's more Vikings than you think. Interference matrix on the tanks, so the Marines are going to try to take the tanks down. And the Marines are fighting against the Vikings a little bit here, helping pretty effectively, but no. The air does belong to the AI. The problem is the tanks are on the ground, and they're forcing this fourth base to lift off. Another expansion coming up over here from the AI. 12 o'clock getting taken by Time as well. The Vikings are maybe going to try to land on top of these tanks. I don't know what you're going to do. You have enough that maybe you can get away with landing on them, and then friendly fire splash will be a problem. This Viking count is 21 to 3 in favor of the artificial intelligence. He really is killing the Viking production right now, and it's sort of awesome. Sneaking down the left away, there are some Marines. You know about this? He doesn't know. He didn't know about this base until the SCVs gave it away, which is a big time problem. He keeps landing that command center and taking tank fire, which is not super ideal. This bottom left-hand base, Time has scouted out again because SCVs came up here and said, "Hey, we're mining up here." SCVs down 16 to 16 for both players. They've taken some hits. Again, the Vikings wiping out medevacs. Can't do much against these tanks, though, unfortunately. He just lands them. Okay, new meta in TVT is just mass Viking. That's it. That's all you gotta have. Pretty amazing stuff here. Is he gonna repair this command center? He probably has some random APM available to send an SCV down or call down a mule to repair that thing, right? Time heading on down to the south to see what he can see. And are these Vikings going to like land in the main base and just kill stuff? That would be absolutely fantastically hilarious. Look at him. He's going to do it. He lands them in the main base. Wipes out all of the units present, is going after SCVs, is going after production facilities, killing SCVs up here. Again, bonus damage versus mechanical. Means that Vikings are really good against SCVs and probes, for example. Also not bad against tanks. Not great, but not horrifically bad either. It's just they're really squishy is the bigger problem. Look at this. Who taught this AI to do this? You can't lift any of these buildings off because the Vikings will just lift and murder you. Time just lost his entire main base and a ton of his production. Meanwhile, back home, continuing to macro up, are the Marines going to win against these Vikings? They've got stim, but +1 armor on these Vikings is pretty awesome stuff. Pulling back into tank fire range. This is the low ground tank. Is having a great time, and finally the Vikings get wiped out. 47 Vikings have gone down for the AI in this game. This is insanity. Time is trying to reproduce his barracks over here at his fourth base. He's building a couple of factories as well. So he is, again, problematically starved for ability to produce a lot of stuff right now. But guess who's making 3 Vikings at a time? Well, yes, it's 16 Vikings and 3 tanks. Can you beat Time in a TVT by making mostly Vikings? I guess we'll find out here today, won't we? It is an exciting proposition to be sure. Seriously though, Mass Viking, what is this? I kind of really enjoy this. This is fantastic. All right, heading down, bottom left, tanks setting up. How will your Vikings handle this? Well, they're not. They're going to sit over here and let this base die. Really, the repair seems like a poor choice from the AI. It just means all your SCVs are going to die, and you're going to lose the planetary. If you're buying time for a response, that'd be one thing, but these Vikings are not responding. Those Vikings are heading across the map to kill more stuff, so fourth base does go down for the AI, but he's taking another one on the other side. Actually, that was a fifth, wasn't it? Yeah. Making another one over on the right side. The Vikings are like, so remember when... Remember when I flew over here with 1,000,000 Vikings and just murdered all of the stuff? That orbital's going to die. There's no saving it in any stretch of the imagination here. You're going to land in the main? Maybe land some here. Time going for the base trade. He takes down another planetary fortress. That one is the 4th base. Look at him. He's prioritizing fighting the other Vikings and the medevacs because it makes the Marines less good. So 2 bases have gone down here for the AI. 1 base has gone down for time. He's replacing that one. He's going to catch a glimpse. Is he going to catch a glimpse of this? He might have just caught a glimpse of that, but the Vikings are not interested in... I don't even... It's 32 Vikings, 4 tanks, 2 Liberators, and 2 Hellions. The mass Viking is, it's a little bit insane. I'm gonna say it's a little bit nuts. This is hilarious. I am really enjoying this game. And it's only for the first one. We've got another one coming up right after this. Tanks. Not enough tanks, man. So much of your supply is in Vikings. But look at this new production home for time is getting wrecked. Is getting absolutely destroyed here. Planetary Fortress versus Viking. What is even happening? He gets the planetary. Oh my god. He's 147 to 107 total supply. Time lost another base. He's continuing to lose supply depots. He's continuing to lose barracks. And when the tanks siege up, the Vikings are just like, we'll just pick off your medevac and maybe get out of here when there's too many Marines on the ground. Look at this fleet. This tanks getting wiped out. This positioning for the Vikings is awesome. The barracks does end up going down. A reactor is on fire and must be saved here by time. Army supply is 84 to 56. But again, who makes mass tank, or mass Viking rather, in a TVT and wins? Well, apparently, that is something this AI wants to do. Oh, this might be a death knell. Oh, these SCVs. 79 to 47 workers in favor of the artificial intelligence. Time is in a lot of trouble. Another base. This is something that AIs are really good at doing, is expanding everywhere. And something human players could really stand to improve upon a little bit, in my personal opinion. Holy crap. Refineries down. Supply depots down. Time is supply blocked. SCVs can engage with this. I'm not sure that's enough Marines to actually deal with this. SCVs getting wrecked. This might just be your GG. It's 35 to 80 total workers. The amount of blue is insane. The Vikings coming around from the top side. The 12 o'clock base is in a lot of trouble. If he loses this, he's on 1 base economy versus a bajillion base economy from the AI down south. You can see it on the minimap for yourself right now. These guys are just killing refineries. These guys are killing barracks. Time's like, I don't want to engage with this. I can't. I don't want to engage with this army. That's a very reasonable point, good sir. And here we go. I mean, this is it. This is a last gasp, last ditch effort out of time to try to win this thing. Sure, you can kill this base, but guess what? There's this one, and there's this one. And there's this one. There is, like, the income tab. I don't think we have... Yeah, 3,000 to 1,000. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, especially the gas income is just non-existent, basically. Oh, friendly fire splash, catching a couple of those tanks as that Hellion from the AI goes into that mineral line at the 3rd base. Look at this. SCV, landed Viking, flying Viking. Trying to target down. Oh my gosh, they're target firing down the tanks. They get all but one of them. Additional Vikings showing up. Army supply is 23 for time. He's getting harassed by Vikings everywhere. The AI is expanding up onto his side of the map now in a show of just complete bad manner. And I think that's it. I don't know how time possibly comes back from this. It's 73 to 34 workers. I know that generally you have mules if you're Terran, but he has 2. He has 2 orbitals. That is not enough mules to try to keep up with what's going on right now. But he doesn't... Okay, what does he know about? He doesn't know about this, or about this, or about this, but he is discovering what's happening now. Look at that missile turret placement. Who puts a random missile turret in the middle of the map like that? That's what Time is thinking right now. He's like, who does this stuff? Oh, well, yes. Time is fighting exceptionally hard, but GG, the AI comes out on top in 20 minutes and 3 seconds. The AI refuses to say GG back, refuses to back down. Time's going to have to leave this game before the AI will give up on him. And I think that's the proper way to respond. And Time is out in 20 minutes and 14 seconds. That was fantastic. That was so fun. Dude, this AI had 23 Vikings at the end of the game and lost 98. That is 121? Something like that. 121 Vikings created in this game. I mean, it was a total of about 24 tanks. Yes, fair enough. That was actually surprisingly a large number of tanks. It was really the Marines that Time was making there, right? He ends up losing 164 Marines. Only really made 16 tanks in the entire game. 78 SCVs died. Look, the AI lost 71 SCVs, but at the end of the game, it was 64 to 37. He lost a ton of workers, but he was never, ever stopped making them, never stopped expanding. And there was nothing Time could do. To be crushed like that by mass Viking has got to be a little bit demoralizing. Holy cannoli. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, so that's game one. That's game one of our AI versus human pro setup here. So let's move on to the next one, because it's fantastic. Look at this. The AI lost 38,000 resources to 31,000 for Time. He just made more stuff. He had more stuff to lose. He just kind of, I mean, if you're going to beat a Terran player with Vikings, it's going to be because you out macroed them, right? Right. Yes, it was. Okay, so let's check out number 2. We'll be back in just a second. Game 2 of our 2-game exhibition here will be between ToodMing and the artificial intelligence. Bottom right, it is the blue Terran player. It is the AI. And in the top left, it is the red Terran player, ToodMing. All right, we're going to be on Triton for this game. Should be an excellent one. Same map as the last one. I'm wondering if it can play on other maps, but we will see. They say they have more replays for me if these ones go well. So, hey. Another TVT here on Triton. It is a triple T. And yeah, once again, if you want more information about this artificial intelligence, it is not Alpha Star. But man, if it can beat Time, then the sky is the limit for this artificial intelligence. All right, so let's see what we're doing. Let's see who's doing what right now. As far as we're concerned, it really looks pretty much the same as the last game. Building his barracks back here is the AI. ToodMing building his barracks a little bit set away from the front. You don't want to wall off versus an opposing Terran player. That's a dumb idea, but having it available just to do a little bit of blocking for Hellions that try to run by can be really nice. So, yeah, both players. Oh, second gas here pretty early out of the AI. Could this be a battle cruiser play? I would love to see the AI's control of a battle cruiser. I mean, what they did with Vikings in the last game was insanity. It was crazy talk. Are we skipping Reaper? Oh, AI, maybe skipping Reaper. Just kidding, started Reaper. Went for the factory first, so a bit of a different build. Not going for the expansion, and therefore delaying the Reaper in order to get a factory up off of one base, which again it indicates the aggression that we saw in Game 1 is pretty much its go-to in this TVT scenario. So, as the expansion comes down from ToodMing, just like we saw it happen from Time, he might end up dealing with a little bit more harassment than he was preparing for. Is this Reaper actually going to head out? Do we need to give this Reaper a name, you guys? Because this Reaper might get some stuff done. Oh my gosh, it's moving out. All right, cool. Let's go here. Let's go Tom Howard. He promised that it just works. It didn't. It's Tom Howard, everyone. I'm talking about Tom here. So the Reaper comes in, and the defensive Reaper is like, hey, what's up? I'm going to get that first shot off, and then suddenly you're in trouble because if the enemy Reaper gets the first shot off, you're dead. You just need to run away at that point. Nice dodge of the KD-8 charge down to the south. Did you see that? That was fantastic. That was really, really good stuff. All right. Continuing on, what are we doing? We're going for a factory of our own, says ToodMing, making a Hellion. Making another Reaper. So 3 Reapers here today and a couple Hellions, not the 2 Reapers we saw in the first game. Starport coming up again early, although Starport for ToodMing is on the way here too. So I do wonder if these players had the advantage of playing against the AI previously, if this is like one of many games they played against the AI, or if this is the first time. They're not quite sure what to expect, right? Because that would give the AI something of an advantage. If they have an unorthodox strategy like mass Viking and a TVT, like an insane person, but it's an artificial intelligence. So, hey, what are we supposed to do with it, huh? Can't call it insane, I don't think. Is there such thing as an insane AI? Suppose there could be. Cyclone, actually. I don't think we saw a Cyclone from AI in the last game. So 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions versus a bunker with a Marine in it, and really 1 Reaper and a bunch of Marines here from ToodMing. ToodMing is planning... Boy, what is he planning on doing here? A Marine tank play, possibly, maybe with some Liberator support out of that tech lab on that starport. We'll see what he's doing. As he has a Cyclone of his own, he is making a Raven. Okay, so Raven going to be just fine here. And actually, he sees the bunker and he pulls back. So didn't want to pull up there. It's even though it's just 1 Marine in that bunker, you could probably run around the back here and kill a bunch of stuff before ToodMing reacted to it perfectly. But yeah, the expansion is done now for the AI, for the blue Terran player here. Worker supply is favoring ToodMing at 34 to 29 total workers in fairness. But we have seen the AI be incredibly strong at macro. Coming along, there's that third. Okay, so yeah, there's that third CC. So definitely going to be expanding a lot like we saw in game number 1. Going to be making tanks. Going to be making a Raven of his own. And then if we end up seeing a Mass Viking play again, I'm going to be really interested as to what that would all be about. Because I don't know if the AI saw something about what ToodMing was doing and said, you know, Mass Viking will be really good, or if that's just what he wanted to do in the TVT. It seems possible. We are reactoring Vikings out right now. We are 100% doing that. That's my boy making some whistling sounds in the background. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Anywho, yeah, there's that third CC from the AI. ToodMing on the other end is not making a third CC quite yet, which means he should... Oh, never mind, it's right there. Third CC in a position Falcon wasn't looking at the moment. That's totally fine. 100% totally fantastic here. Dun, 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 dun. Engineering bay. And just every time I look up, there's Vikings in production from the AI. He's got a reactor on that starport here, so ToodMing is also going for his own Vikings. The question is, will he have enough to combat the mass 125 Vikings the AI might possibly make in the next match? Who knows? Who actually would possibly know the answer to that? A couple free SCVs here. That's 3 dead SCVs. Not too bad. A little bit careless there from ToodMing. Long distance mining when he didn't know what was out there. Obviously did not have the vision for it. Trying to see if there's a third base here. There's not. Third base landed very bravely from the AI. And now escorting the SCV. Well, 1 SCV is getting a huge escort out to that third base now, which is fantastic. Look at this. More Vikings. More. Never stop making Vikings, man. That's what this is all about. APM check. 226 for ToodMing. 350 for the artificial intelligence. It's not through the roof. It's not insane, but it is still pretty good nevertheless. I don't know if I've actually cast a TVT with AI. I'm not sure Alpha Star, we ever got to that point with the Alpha Star. Does remind me, I want to cast some more Zerg with that when I get the chance. All right. What is it? 105 to 109 total supply. Again, pretty darn even. Free Marine there. It does take several hits from a Cyclone to hit it because it doesn't do bonus damage versus light, only bonus versus armored. And this is a bad, like, get out of here, man. Just run. Cyclone does take out, and it almost gets the AI Cyclone there. And is forced to retreat from this position. So what are we doing? Just kind of banking up Vikings, man. 6 Vikings here from the AI. No, are there really no Vikings at all from ToodMing? ToodMing doesn't believe in the power of the Viking here. Now here's the trick. You just go Marine Marauder, right? You just go Marine Marauder. I guess medevac to some extent, but maybe you can't even really keep the medevacs alive if there are that many Vikings. And then if the Vikings want to land and fight you, great. You can handle it. And if they fly overhead, the Marines can handle it. I don't know that the tanks are necessarily going to be what you want here, but just a straight-up Marine Marauder bio-style play and against this whatever the heck the AI player is doing, if there's a name for it, I don't know. Lock on that Raven does save it by coming across the other way with the Marine Tank Cyclone Medevac army here. And a good AI will never take an engagement that they're going to lose. So that's why we're pulling back. Very smart. You'll see professional players do that all the time. Just able to recognize what type of force is chasing you. Maybe, you know, kill stuff if it comes over a little bit too far. Gets... reinforcing units are here. Maybe overestimated there a little bit. Remember what I said about validating? The medevacs, though. The medevac's not in a fantastic place. That's a full medevac just about down there. That's a huge victory for ToodMing. Marine comes over to the third base, has 0 kills. He's going to try to take down a supply depot, I guess. Or maybe some of these SCV. Oh, never mind. Runs into tank fire on the high ground and doesn't really get anything done here. Army supply 81 to 78. There is a window here for ToodMing to get this thing done, where he can absolutely wipe out this third base. And there's really not much, I don't think, that AI is going to be able to do about this one here. Tanks setting up. The ground army, nope. Coming from the low ground, those tanks of AI, not super good. Interference Matrix is going to help against that tank count of ToodMing a little bit, as another one does go down here. The Vikings are, you know, in the skies, trying to control the skies here. The Marines trying to take down the AI tanks. They get another one there. ToodMing's got 2 tanks just shelling from a distance right now, but there is barely enough here from the AI to clear that thing out. How many SCVs have gone down? 7 SCVs have died for the AI. 4 for ToodMing. ToodMing continuing to push on in. He was macroing behind it. He's looking like a total boss right now. 4th base is done from the AI, even in the midst of all of that stuff. That was a beautiful hold, coming from multiple directions, from the low ground, coming down from the high ground, from the right side. Marines jumping on those tanks. 1 tank down. Targets fires the other tank down. Very nice. Took some huge hits from this tank, though. End up getting 4 kills, and the air superiority once again belonging to the artificial intelligence here. So the AI doing some good work right now. Chasing these Marines away. There's a Widowmine on the ground. Widowmine gonna be pretty decent against Vikings, I would say. I kind of like the Widowmine choice here by ToodMing. It gets an unorthodox strategy, so who knows. Look, the medevac's going down. And bio without any medevacs? Oh, the AI has something to say in Chinese. Someone could probably translate that for me in the comments. If you do, I'll maybe pin your comment, because I'm curious if the AI is talking smack against ToodMing or not, which would be just... God, that would make my day. If the AI is like, hey man, I'm up 93 to 58 army supply. Where are you at? Viking count continuing to increase. Every time I look at the production tab, we currently have 10 Vikings in the sky, which seems like overkill, but you know what? It worked in game 1, so why not? Again, I do want to know if this is the first time this has been faced by ToodMing, or if this is something that he knows is going to happen and he just doesn't have a great response for it. Yeah, this is where things started to snowball in the last game against Time. The AI just started getting it up. Got a ton of way more Marines in this game than in the last one. You lift off the orbital command to save it, but the Vikings are pouring damage into it. The repair is pretty good from the low ground. I don't know how they're reaching from that position. I really don't. And suddenly it's more traditional Marine tank here with, again, he just wants the air superiority. He recognizes how important it is to win versus the air here. The medevacs are going down, which means ToodMing's Marines are not as good as the AI's Marines right now. And suddenly the AI is pushing through 113 to 33 total supply. Brutal, or army supply rather. Brutal, doubling up total supply right now. So many bases. So many bases for the AI. Trying to land a third base here is ToodMing. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. And that's your good game. ToodMing is done. Dude, this AI, this seriously terrifying stuff here. TVT looks incredibly clean, incredibly strong. Just able to hold on and bam. Victory. Victory for the artificial intelligence. Wow, that was so good. That was so great. This was really fun today. Well, yeah, again, check these guys out at the website listed in the description. The guys who programmed this AI should be pretty proud. They took down Time. They took down ToodMing, two professional StarCraft players who have great victories on their resumes. I mean, these guys are no jokes at all. They have looked abjectly terrifying themselves in the past, and I assume they will in the future too. Once again, though, I mean, it just comes down to Vikings, man. How many Vikings at the end of the game? 12 Vikings versus the total of 0 that ToodMing made today, which is a problem. He made more Marines at the end of the day. Well, maybe not. Might have made the same amount of Marines here. 119 plus 20 is about 140. 76 plus 47. Yeah, about the same. ToodMing made more Marines there, but the positioning was great. And again, if you can wipe out your enemy's medevacs while your own medevacs are happily healing you up, then suddenly you're in a better position against enemy Marines in a TVT. So ToodMing has it figured out, man. Or rather, the AI has it figured out. ToodMing maybe not quite there yet, but really fun stuff. Thanks for sending those replays. I never know what to expect. I never know what to expect if people just send me this kind of stuff. I don't watch them in advance. I came into it blind, and it was great. So no complaints from me. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, if you liked watching this AI exhibition today. This little bonus StarCraft 2 cast for your Saturday, because that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button. You can hit that subscribe, too, if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also find me at Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.